the allure of DIY. Three little letters that promise confidence, creativity, and a dash of cash-saving magic. The internet is bursting with tutorials, hacks, and guides telling you that with a little elbow grease and the right attitude, you too can master any task. But sometimes those dreams of self-sufficiency come crashing down, leaving you with a project that's more Frankenstein than functional and a wallet that's feeling a bit lighter than you'd hoped. Let's take a humorous, informative journey into the world of DIY fails, featuring our ever-optimistic hero, Stickman. Picture Stickman, a beacon of hope and enthusiasm, armed with nothing but a wrench, a roll of duct tape, and a can-do attitude. He's got big plans today. Maybe he's fixing a leaky faucet, building a bookshelf, or even attempting to rewire the living room lights. He's watched all the videos, read all the blog posts, and is convinced that he's ready to take on the world, one project at a time. But as Stickman quickly discovers, not all DIY endeavors are created equal. Some tasks are deceptively simple, luring you in with the promise of quick, easy success. Others are lurking with hidden complexities, ready to turn your weekend project into a saga worthy of epic poetry. The first lesson Stickman learns is that preparation is everything, but even the most prepared can be blindsided by the unexpected. Let's start with the classic, the leaky faucet. Stickman stands poised over his sink, tools at the ready. The tutorial video made it look so easy. Just unscrew this, replace that, tighten here, and voila! But as Stickman unscrews the faucet, water erupts in a glorious fountain, soaking his stick figure shoes and drenching the floor. Turns out the water supply should have been shut off first. Lesson 1, always double-check the instructions, especially the bits about safety and prep. Sometimes skipping a step means adding hours and dollars to the cleanup. Next, Stickman tries his hand at woodworking. He's got a pile of planks, a hammer, and a dream, a custom bookshelf for his collection of stick figure novels. The plan is simple: measure twice, cut once. But in the excitement, Stickman measures once, cuts twice, and ends up with a shelf that's more abstract art than functional furniture. The screws are too short, the wood is the wrong type, and the whole thing leans precariously to one side. The cost of fixing it? More materials, more tools, and maybe the help of a professional after all. Lesson 2, precise measuring and the right materials matter more than you'd think. Now let's talk about the infamous painting fail. Stickman wants a fresh look for his living room, just a new coat of paint. How hard can it be? He grabs the cheapest brushes and the most vibrant color in the store, but after a few haphazard swipes, the walls are streaky, the paint is peeling, and somehow there are splashes on the ceiling and floor. The finish is uneven, and the color looks nothing like it did on the sample card. Fixing this requires primer, new paint, and hours of labor. Lesson 3, quality tools and prep work are worth the investment, even if it means spending a bit more up front. Sometimes DIY fails can be traced back to the classic trap of overconfidence. Stickman watches a video on electrical work and feels ready to tackle a faulty light switch. He grabs his screwdriver and gets to work, but quickly realizes that wires aren't color-coded as shown in the tutorial. After a shocking discovery, literally some Stickman calls in a professional. Not only does he pay for repairs, but he also has to fix the additional damage caused by the initial attempt. Lesson 4, know your limits. Some jobs, especially those involving plumbing or electricity, are best left to trained experts. Of course, not all DIY fails are catastrophic. Some are simply minor setbacks, like assembling flat-pack furniture. Stickman lays out all the pieces, consults the instructions, and gets to work. But after an hour of twisting, turning, and searching for the elusive part C, he ends up with an upside-down chair and a handful of extra screws. The instructions were ambiguous, the parts mislabeled, and Stickman's patience stretched thin. The solution? Disassembly, starting over, and maybe a call to a friend with experience. Lesson 5. Some projects require a helping hand and a bit of teamwork. Why do these DIY fails happen? Stickman learns that enthusiasm can sometimes cloud judgment. The appeal of saving money often leads to skipping key steps or choosing subpar materials. A desire for instant results means rushing through instructions or ignoring warnings, and sometimes a lack of experience means underestimating the complexity of a task. The cost of a DIY fail isn't just financial, it's time, effort, and emotional investment. Stickman spends hours researching, shopping, and working, only to end up with a project that needs to be redone or repaired. In some cases, DIY mistakes can even cause damage to the home, leading to bigger bills than if a professional had been called from the start. Water damage, electrical hazards, or structural issues can quickly turn a small fix into a major renovation. But all is not lost. Every DIY fail is a learning opportunity. Stickman begins to see that the real value of DIY is in the experience, the trial, error, and eventual triumphs. He learns to start small, tackling tasks that match his skill level. He invests in quality materials and tools, knowing that a little extra expense up front can save money in the long run. He takes the time to read instructions thoroughly, double-check measurements, and consult experts when necessary. Stickman also discovers the power of community. Online forums, neighborhood groups, and DIY classes offer advice, support, and troubleshooting tips. Sharing stories of DIY fails helps others avoid the same mistakes and fosters a spirit of camaraderie. Stickman laughs about his upside-down chair and leaky faucet, knowing that everyone has a tale of a project gone awry. Another lesson learned: sometimes hiring a professional isn't admitting defeat, it's making a smart investment. Stickman realizes that tasks involving plumbing, electrical work, or structural changes are best left to those with training and experience. The upfront cost may be higher, but it often saves money, stress, and potential disaster in the long run. So what's the takeaway for Stickman and aspiring DIY enthusiasts? Everywhere, DIY is a fantastic way to learn new skills, boost confidence, and personalize your space. But it's important to approach each project with realistic expectations, proper preparation, and a willingness to ask for help when needed. Start with simple projects, maybe painting a small piece of furniture, hanging shelves, or planting a garden. Build skills gradually and invest in good tools that will last for years. Watch tutorials, read guides, and don't be afraid to ask questions. If a project seems too complex, or if you're dealing with essential systems like plumbing or electricity, call in a professional. Your safety and the safety of your home are worth the investment. And most importantly, don't let a DIY fail discourage you. Stickman's adventures show that mistakes are part of the process. Every error is a chance to learn, laugh, and improve. The next time Stickman tackles a project, he's better prepared, more skilled, and ready to take on the challenge with a smile. DIY is about more than saving money. It's about creativity, problem-solving, and the satisfaction of building something yourself. Sure, it doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes it costs more than hiring a pro, but with the right attitude, the lessons learned from each failure are worth their weight in gold. Stickman hangs his crooked shelf proudly, paints over the streaks on the wall, and even keeps the upside-down chair as a reminder that perfection isn't the goal, progress is. With every project, he gets a little better, a little wiser, and a lot more confident. So before you grab your tools and dive into your next DIY adventure, remember Stickman's journey. Prepare thoroughly, respect your limits, invest in quality, and never underestimate the power of a good laugh. DIY may not always save you money, but it will always give you a story to tell, and that's priceless. Now, as Stickman wipes the sweat from his brow and surveys his handiwork, he's ready for whatever challenge comes next. Because in the world of DIY, every fail is just another step on the path to success. And who knows, maybe next time, Stickman's bookshelf will stand straight, his faucet will hold water, and his walls will be painted to perfection. Or maybe not, but either way, he's enjoying the ride, learning as he goes, and proving that sometimes the best projects are the ones that don't turn out exactly as planned. So grab your duct tape, your measuring tape, and your sense of humor, and join Stickman on the never-ending adventure of DIY. Just remember, when do-it-yourself costs you more, you're still gaining something invaluable: knowledge, experience, and a great story to share. And in the end, isn't that what it's all about?